right, another pay Mamemo Akwaba Emra GN Radio UK so we share Emra na 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. Na a legal hour with Fortwell Solicitors. And I pay Darling JB Babetramo Ama Mama Lean na meromo atwetwen komo efa legal issues so I work as affiliate so summary utie free www.gnradiouk.com and I so with mobile phone so tablet or iPad tuning and answer GN Radio mobile app no mobile app no so Google Player ubenya no ho na wa download ni free Samsung na wo call App Store ubetumi so download wo free and I think so call another big platform kwa wiase for na nyina no Radio Garden aran so be bia obia awo wiase for na nyina mo no ubenya kwanya na watie live and providers say or data and answer or internet connectivity a ebetumi connect be bia o hye bia no akwanya ewo ho ema se dwumadie nso obetumi atie bi ye dobode na asese den so ode acheye na wama moja ediemu afrisane na dum binti adichiemu asem ebi daya wansore na wo a enana pei onyame wa dum na moja edi mu afrisane de ma menu mienu enka momni afa aseda kesia pa ma wono otwedi amponyame no
I'm so excited.
na
Next song.
Jumadie nso baby a obi ano se oba so a bomodin se obehye especially Facebook oba Facebook a bomodin se obehye ehwe no kwa menimsem kwama no emu de no na onso wo pitin bi de ama adofo arenti no bomodin se obehye de ama wo Facebook sa nso na mo amo hwe no wo YouTube no akwanya wo ho na kuta smart TV a onso obetumi ahwe no TV na so kama obehu bibia and high definition kama pa any TV real television difference bia enim na chese fa say TV na wo hwe no radio de na TV na wo hwe no television screen so kama pa me we fie na me hwa TV na me de TV na enti me free say wo so be the same na bo nua bi amane say ono so ehwe bi ewo TV so via YouTube ono answer about GN over type GN Radio UK another pay ya wo bibi to say ewo English maimu ya wo bibi say non payment of child maintenance na ya wo ya ma me bi wo ha wo mo de o ma yo ma ju say child maintenance no omo de yakadro na legally nso no se o de ye akadro a ho nsem ewo ho nti na na pay mesro se oba kame ho na me ne lawyer Daniel Coy our ye senior legal partner Emma Fortwell Solicitors ara na pay oba kan ye ho na oba be ye nkyerechiremu efa eye sa child non payment of child maintenance no se wantua DNA say see say oyawo for na say wantua child maintenance na ho soso so etesay ene ono na Daniel Coy lomenfa lawyer ka ho because oye obi a oye high learned into tatini here pa lawyer Daniel Coy ene also be yen chirechimti ma me papa baby a obi a me so wa school runs naba bomodin atwemben wa fidie na bo nua bi amane say a topic na mu hwa very very necessary so far as the African community is concerned bo nua bi amane na ontwe GN radio because and it to this anchechi edebro nti samre make ma no enwa mama Daniel Coy akwaba na obroni be say we said the ball rolling Daniel memo akwaba
memo achi minia say a few way ye share last year share bi memo Also I'm more sharing for the first time and then more sharing the beyond so no Yechiamo and Opawe. If we share this year, so then Happy New Year. Say the woman introduction and Nekwanswano no and prepare Fremila Daniel Coy me fee Fortwell Solicitors. Na and ne anopai topic I me person me discuss it debiano we say from time to time say yeah, Fortwell Solicitors, apart from immigration, we have other areas of law I practicing. And one of the main areas of law I practice in family law. And most of the time, even though immigration, most often, because I want a very topical, so I won't sort of won't crack and someone immigrate and our family issues in the ground and found won't mean that's the reason why we discuss immigration about 95% of the time. But we also realize issues apart from immigration, other issues for are above up from time to time. And one of the major issues, family law matters. And say one of the dreaded words in Burma, the word child maintenance. Child maintenance and idea say okoboso awa na in Burma ni nia in Burma so dear omeni edge but it's very good darling J, but Yanka when Becca Yanka who else will talk about it, and sometimes a lack of information in knowledge in a man in Yamabe AC Obi Onoma Obeshana in Tokwabini in way air cosono is simply because there is no understanding of what the basis are a war nomuntia esenipani it's your child maintenance, what are the rules and nona and then we decided semetsa a cancer topic in one sem na questions and go for one so no umeti me add to dra na ya boa mo
mame so bodiomo ha ene esene lawyer anugusu a e ka no no nkyere say wo question ana concern bia untumi mfa ma wo mra obeye nchechi mu no ono de oba utumi ma education pa nti ana amanfo akahye na ebia wo question bia ofise untumi mfa ma akwanya e wo ho wo issue bia efa topic no ho ana any immigration issue bia obetumi dia mane e wo Facebook yebekenkan na wayi ano ama sanso na what sending a text message ara WhatsApp number ni 0778 793 9958 or ni GN Radio Studio WhatsApp number and I said text message number 0778 793 9958 ubetumi dia send yebekan pepepe meti hem kwa de mani di ekiri sanso na pesa wo frɛ na obisa question bia telephone lines ni 0203 735 8820 message so 0203 735 8820 and answer 0203 286 0185 ninyira akwanya ewo ho ema mensuru bibia pesa obisa bia pesa obabo di crowd de modi na bisa sa question lawyer Daniel Kwe ewo ha wabene ewo law mu papa very young, smart, intelligent young man. And Bomadi answer question be I'll be to the money. Wamla or Babeka non-payment of child maintenance so home answer. Now you are so netty. Lawyer, Medawasi to our commercial.
You Medasi darling J as we have a topic today, say will be into child maintenance, then in a ABC, what can you do? What are your options? But Ansana meba the main question for today, a very important say Yetifono will understand the historical basis for such child maintenance and that the relationship between child maintenance and others are and the powers are child support agency and basis on your calculation. It's very important. See, you better say in Yama Wenia and say answer by your main question for today, so that people will understand what and where the law is coming from. So more decision Yeah, they know exactly why those decisions are being made. And I say, yeah, council they understand the basis of SAR statements and answer SAR order. So we share Children Act 1989 are a buy and what it's intended. And they say, limit the options and answer the power of the courts and they say making statutory orders and as on obi say tiasika way efa ma oba, especially in a situation where there have been separation into no say share child maintenance support agency na primary responsibility no say be assessing na enforce child maintenance. That is their primary responsibility for periodical payment order. Our courts in the but it's very important for people to understand because a very big misconception at a war on I will repeat it probably 2 or 3 times during this length of the program. Say, see a child supporter, it is different from child contacts. Okay. There is a difference between contact with a child and a child support. Most of the time, from doing this work, a problem, and the reason why they are preventing one parent of a child from seeing akwalane say child support but there is a difference between the ability of the other parents to have contact with a child, and there's a difference between child support. Say even if OBM the access say akwalana, you cannot say because you're not being given access to akwalana child support, and vice versa. Untimi nka say me ma obi enhwe akwalana na me ma ni hu akwalana because ontua child support, because those two issues are two different matters. The court deals separately, and even when it comes to dealing with it the way the courts any UK agencies deals with it's a different process altogether. As a parent I would tear me and pay. If you are the mother, if you are the father of a child, now you have problems with contacts because the other party is not giving you access to that child. Now if you want to deal with it there is a way of dealing with it. Either say obefre or lawyer and also local solicitor now or wow a child arrangement order if a casa like mutna mediation namo casa eufiena anya, then they do that and that arrangement and they can proceed. At the same time so we are oba na wo hwe akwala no, we are papa na wo hwe akwala na the other parents na akwala na ntirin chen is not supporting you with looking after the child. The process of going over it so different. And na make kan ho asem no. So we share courts what UK has say now ya limited more ability and also more power say on be make periodical payment order ama enkrofo the only time I share courts in a more power say be make order say the other parents in a payments when you are asking for educational expenses. If you are making an application for educational expenses madam sikakakra na our rejai eba, however ankwalano they were attending let's say private school into mutia school fees Emma and Kolan and sana our regina eba and as a separation eba. Then you can go to the court and ask say say the other parent in a wifi fee na on in Kolan will continue paying sa educational expenses. And now say if there was some payment baby company in your private school assembly but a extra tuition and I say expenses be a state education system because in any school say UK has said most of them a free eba a month for but there's other expenses via a DHE. The other parent was paying before Ofifi Honum, and I say before he stopped looking after the child. Because of that, Opesa will call court now court order so that the parent will continue paying. That is something you can go to the court and go and get. The other thing too that you may have to apply to the courts, ASA, ABA, SEBE, Akwalana, Muwono, or war disability. cost attributable to disability. If akwalana mo no say be or ye disabled na sikana woje from the other party enye enough and as a separation be abemu na opese woje sika bi support to ehwe sa akwalana, then it may be possible say obetimi aye application akọ family court and as to the court for the other parents to pay periodical payments to you. If that is the case, and also the court will have jurisdiction, so will application amount. Then we have what we normally call top-up orders, where there's maintenance calculation and the non-resident parent income exceed £156,000 per year. So we share that amount now, a huge amount for somebody to be earning about 156,000 gross each year. Then it means the person sikakakra ewonin same. If nipa na waware na nipa na oni na wono, na ni earnings above that amount. Na uko child maintenance for her. Na omoye omo calculation amount na na sikanisha. For that reason, opesa we application echo court na omo so na omo ma sikebia. Then the courts will have jurisdiction, say omo be entertaining application na Apart from this, there may be situations whereby abia arrangements be ebewo oba ne obema no separation ne by omankasa omati omohu ase. They don't want a situation whereby obi ba be ka omasem ebe momo into the omo amutina ase na bema na and as the other party na onhwe akwala na agree say me are more than happy say bosumi bia metua £1,000 ediama akwala no, and for that reason into the moama yemo agreement na mo dia court na the consent agreement and as o stamp so ediama mo. If you do that, then obviously the court will be happy say ombe silly so the amount, then it becomes a very decent one a court na ebetimi dealing with. It is also important to understand say normally ansana the courts will have jurisdiction over any child maintenance issue. There must be the basis a hifana in Kwalano and as a hifana one of the parents in a war. And so we share arrangement as we share we law na a fatsa idea we normally we would expect to say parents of the child, one of the parents in the UK. If parents of the children, has an planning to UK, now see over beje court order has say now when your maintenance be their court the bed entertaining because chrome has saying. Sometimes there must be a relationship between one Aqualano for you to be able to make an application for a court order. So person we hear application for court order. Unti can say, me wafa biba, but me share on just to be court application. There be you need to be the biological father of that. I said the biological mother of that child. For you to say court no order be na yede ashare Aqualano. And all these things, it's important. Say you will understand the basis of this. Is most applications in the enco court. In fact, most applications and court and if another child maintenance or now child maintenance for so they consider so many things and sana or make decision. Say who call child maintenance now we have application to them and they have the statutory power to make those orders, and in making those orders they look at so many things, where one of the things that they will look at income. You share income, you be calculate it, you be say, bosumi bia and answer weekly bia and aware the OJ. And once you or once they look at all those things, they can then calculate. I wouldn't go into the details of how I arrive at the calculation, but most of the time, they look at two factors. They look at historical income, and then they can also look at your current income. Say obi wo honoma or CEO me person to your child maintenance me we self-employed. In situations like that, now the child maintenance team may go into your historical income, into the mobile contacted HM revenue to see how much you've been earning in the previous year, and based on that, they will calculate how much you should go going forward. You will have to pay, and they will do the calculation for you. It is also important to understand, said, apart from the fact say when they are doing their calculation, they look at certain factors. Let's use a father for example. Father no one okay. Nkwala miensa no oni mienu enete ba one baako ente. Nti ne baako ne maame ena ete. When they are calculating the child maintenance now, they will take into effect, say, okay, that father or two other children are on your moti or show, and the third child depend on your monti. So they will factor the two children into the calculation.
Yeah.
So they will not just say, oh, because we now say about child maintenance, don't do that. The other thing too that you need to be awareness, they also look at whether say also akwalani be. Some situations we were honoma na papa no every weekend and every other weekend and kwalani ebe dibe 2-3 days when that is the case, don't expect say 2-3 days now they will not factor that in when calculating how much some parents need to pay. If you want grandpa calculating the grandpa, they have shared responsibility into almost half of the year and papa, then the other half no all man. When that happens, then it means to say they will have to also calculate that, and I said they will have to make sure say they take that into effect when doing any calculations at home. Sometimes as parents, if you feel say child maintenance too much, now you can do a better job by looking after the child yourself from certain times of the year, and I said more times of the year. I will encourage you say obey application while contact to that child, say that you don't have to pay a lot of it. So any other factors be I will feel say the child maintenance team did not take into effect as well. It is up to you to show that evidence. If you omunya letter, if you're they just ignore it, thinking say the problem will go away, and that leads me to measures the CMS, and I say child maintenance support agency they can take if parents fail to pay their money, which is the main question for us today. I person discussing it because Obi Ohonoma, he feels like Sikana Otiana unfair. And as a Sikana Otiana, the internet so there's no need for them to pay the money. And the government has given child maintenance for no authority for certain things to happen. Say if you are the other parent, I wanna share Aqualano. Now the other parents now on Aqualano have decided say, oh, going forward in a dear metria for child maintenance. The other parents in the me asked civil courts claim until which me call county court say your man is arrangement with it to your Biba, you have decided say untia. The only problem that comes with this option is very expensive. It can be very expensive because say unim the court processes are you may have to instruct a solicitor to lead you with the application, which can be expensive. However, say now you want to adopt a cheaper means of getting your funds now, then you may approach child maintenance service for them to use their wide-ranging powers of enforcement, to get the money from you. And this is where sometimes, the other parents now and they can be worried because say child maintenance service for say in some area but these are some of the things that we can also do to help. We will talk about that at the end of the presentation. So we share child maintenance service for powers. One on me or that the other parents employer say on make it direct deduction infinite wages and as any pension now on farmer the other parents now say the maintenance and man. Internet is very, very important. Say people will be aware. Why you betting me and make order say to your child maintenance? If you are not willing to pay that money, the child maintenance service, betting me order will current employer say until he can enfi or salary direct. And I also say uncle or pensioner what contributing previously, na uncle is can farmer the other parents, in pacho say bema no na sasem we etrio mo so say these are some powers child maintenance service in the phone that they can utilize. You need to be aware of it. The instructing paying parents bank so then so betini catch almost say omontisika into let's assume say child maintenance service for decide say call employer ho and I said they don't know baby our employer and you don't know where you are employed at. What they can do is say betini or that or bank and I said building society say make it regular payment and the other parents. That is something that the child maintenance service can do. They can also order for a lump sum from the account. Let's say ABR your child arrangement with a child maintenance order say chia 300 and 400 pounds every month since the beginning of last year. There have been a pile up of and a big amount. What the child maintenance service can do is say, savings or bank account, they can order your bank say, what save your account anymore. Big one on farmer the other parents. This is a power that is also available to the child maintenance service. And also we need to be aware say ye one share yes it can on betting at bank account. And there's always the option say the other parents at the back court recover arrears via friendly liability order. Say you can pile it up. Now the person is not being able to has not been paid like forthcoming. Then nipa meeting court no liability order no one instructive bailiff say bra ofie na message out TV ne car ne unyama na koton no fanti kano. So that is also available to the other parents. That's something that you need to do. And with this, child maintenance service for also can start that process. And once they do that, you the other parents they should know say ebetimi unya CC ja ebe affect your credit file, okoje credit, okoje loan, okoje mortgage, all these things can affect you. It can hinder because ebe register or file so as CCJ. The other power people don't know, and as any commoner they know say child maintenance service for can also utilize and they say they can even revoke or passports or driving license. And I said they can even make an order preventing you from obtaining one. Wow. That is something
that's a harsh one.
Yes, child maintenance service for have. If the party decides say, then remember say child maintenance service for they have a power on making order say the other parent in the passport in into this British passport, I would decide say would be Johnny if you chronimo say their own chia before you know it, need a cow passport so that you cannot go. And they can even order say driving license here revoke it and as a GB. This is very huge and this is very harsh, and we believe say a power that they have but they rarely use because I'm yet to see somebody a young man sa order say bema on passport and abema on 2 coin and abema on J driving license, because once you take away the driving license, how do the person even work to pay? Then the final power that people need to be aware and say in worst case scenario, they can send you to prison.
Okay.
And, if you are very difficult and you decide say ube chimupa ama wama nipana asu ayeshia the Child Maintenance Service Act, Emma or more authority said they will request say or more prison, and that's something that you need to be aware of. Sometimes you also need to know whether say arrange child maintenance. Have you agreed it in person, and now say if you arrange it through the child maintenance service? If you are there are advantages and then there are disadvantages. For instance, say arrange it between yourself and the person now or you're involved now. Sometimes you can negotiate for a bigger amount. Nipa na say akwalani on one ba na sika no what they share the banana say or share no betinya for there. If then the person might agree, say, okay, Bosumi Biano, I'm going to give you £500 to look after the child. Meanwhile, no bia say uko arrange sa when through child maintenance service for now, you be ma order say £300 Bosumi Bia. Sometimes I always tell people say in as much as possible, try say between the two parties and rather than going through the collect and pay service, child maintenance service for a year. But you should understand, say, even though people will arrange between themselves, if you hold on my year arrangements and not their SO on your regular, and I say from time to time, now our issues. These are some of the things that people need to be aware of, the advantages and then disadvantages. But always, when people go through child maintenance service, now it brings some sort of tension between the parents, because obviously, or no feel say Bosumi Biaye Tennessee can direct only any authority cause problems at their money, because there might be sometimes bia na only sika or betia sa month, or bet me no negotiating. But in a situation where TFE ne bank account mu direct and as any employer more, sometimes it can be very, very problematic for the individuals, and it brings a lot of acrimony between the parties. It is, however, important to understand, say, sometimes with COVID-19 going, it has affected the way child maintenance for also approach it, because we all know the ability to pay child maintenance has been affected. Sikasem has been reduced because of COVID. If Sikasem has been reduced by 25% or more due to COVID-19, not way for child maintenance service for a year or than it previously before COVID-19 then it will be important to approach you for them to do an adjustment to calculation on year previously and say they are reduced the amount. This is something that people need to know. If we income reduce following the timer child maintenance for a year or than but more they now go back and explain to them your current situation. At this very moment, it seems that Abayano have stopped the fellow payments in any idea. I wouldn't go much into it, but we are aware that during the time now fellow payments in even if your income had been reduced and you are being given the fellow payment of 80% now, you cannot say because of that you had the full child maintenance amount that you are being given in those situations, something that people need to be aware of. The final part, let's say, taking questions from yourself and your listeners, and say, in situations whereby personal circumstance anytime make sure that you approach your solicitor or child maintenance service for them to do reassessment. For instance, if at the time child maintenance order say to your £500 a month, which came last year January, and you've been paying it, and for some reason or the other baby for now, clearly situation as a son. So what me I say now you have another child to feed, so you cannot be paying the same amount. If it is the other child now, then it means the other child now and whoever train. So in situations like that, it is important say obe update child maintenance for say this is your current situation. Can they do reassessment and then recalculate how much you need to pay? And also something that you need to be aware of. And, you know, at this stage, you know, I think say we've done enough presentation. People might also have questions. One can answer me also question kakra.
As a discussion, of course, no questions kakraba. Now me try say making at the same time listen to you. Now because I translate akotwi. Now what to me? Aye nchechimu kama edi amaye. Inti se wa no wadawo mo anoto na che say questions are aba no na me di amano. Na so obi nso wo ho say opese ofra ekwanya nso e wo ho ma so obetumi afre. Numbers a obetumi afre wo so no 0203 735 8820 and answer 0203 286 0185. We GN Radio Legal Hour and Tuesday the 18th of January 2022. Na lawyer Daniel Coy and another pay yeneno twitwen komo waye nchichimu kama edi ama yefa non-payment of child maintenance and say wachichimu kama mu amutie no na ne den say question me no abanyina say is in love near nchichimu na ekono na atwu bi ono so de ne question aba into lawyer wadaroma so why ready me dey
ready
na most koso emfa questions no emra ewo 0778 793 9958 0778 793 9958 ubetumi awasap ubetumi so attest ni nyina wo de ba ebeba the same phone so a bikutai sanso na mo amo Facebook mo mamodi ana mo nhye numbers ne nye bad nemum nso shema obi nso enye bi me do bibiara se mutie wo asupa ye wa 90 minutes pepepe na ye de dwumadie no abawie nti ye no wano na ye mfiri so Daniel kwa we say producer yi camera ne to we nam so akova no Daniel kwa we say one ni kunu ejai na since that was 2019 Bema no enye na sede so obehwe omo wakwada baako obaba little girl na Bema no enye na sede se obehwe so because of the breakup no Bema na yin se free akwada no ho ne birthday kura nothing onfa just a birthday wishes be akra emma no sebia me ba just he's not showing any responsibility. I must say no, she's a single parent mother or ye juma nisika na ketu yesa into or brepa na beme what they put in ake hu here beme ne krata sam kuyi afide oba bebisa se obetumi e de akwada no aye ne krata na oba no se onye na odeka ni school awoko na krecha awoko no eka bebiri wo ho a oguso wo 20 se obeye saa de ne dia so pese ode ne ba no eye krata de eni onko school ho no akwada no school ho no na onko enkotu eka bia wo ho no na ansana wanya kwanya ede ayen krata nti oba ni bisa se sesia no se be ma no kotue se sika na dia na onye na onfa e make sure on report no ma sa child maintenance for na work no na omo dia no kwambe no just to put it simple dia na onye action be no take against the husband the ex-husband sorry.
Okay. A very important question, because it's up most of the time. We see it more often than not. Say, on this occasion, make us embarno. And Kwalana could be obano who they feel say because the other parents, na said the way or no or ban pedintino or be preventing it say or the be akola be say when you find yourself in that situation, and I say what people need to understand, say sometimes I start a presentation where I made it clear, say child support is very different from child contact. And I say child arrangement.
Yep.
You always find a bit of disagreement between a mother and a father on how much contact you expect said the other father will have with the child. Most of the time, say papa no crampo from time to time crampa or because enough. And I say over once a month into happy. So there's always that tension that comes in. The only problem that I always have with situations like this, and I say, Obana question is, he feels, say, Papa no episode or used to Aqualana, Edinyan and Krata.
That's true.
She used to say, she has a right, say, or be prevented that from happening. Me, as a lawyer, as a solicitor, I always have the mentality, say, I want to get in Krata for people. Okay, for me, it is very difficult for me to answer the question. Say, a crime ben and me fast so me prevented the other parents and say, obeyan and krata. So that question I'm never able to answer it because me nim kwaya me fast so me prevent you be from so obeyan and krata because for me, my job is to make sure say me boa man for no me nyom krata.
Mamen bibi was say going reading the story the message was say. Although also the akwara no be yan krata dia any akwara no school fees apare apa ontumi ntue ni nyina no ono be ma no kotue ni nyina no onkotua no tue wi a fine he has a chance but the obani bisa na se na on show responsibility on just on nye hwe ma akwara no action be no take against
you see, one of the actions are Obani betting taking.
I'm sorry, one
of the actions of betting taking is or the papa never called child support. Okay, but all the papa never called child support. Na papa ni any and krata. That means you say onye juma. Into the child support for no ain't mean ye order biase on chiasika amount. That is the difference. That's the problem I find with a lot of these issues. One point, open say papa ni timi tua akwala school fees. Okay. What you say open say akwala ni timi ko tua e kana e da ho no. Meanwhile no so no e kwan papa ni be ye adwuma na odi be tua sa sika no. Oni need the ability to work. He doesn't have ability to work. He doesn't have the legal means to work. Sometimes you may think say punish it Papa no by preventing him from getting in krata to work. But when you look at the presentation I know say Dumbeka say ma pointers don't more higher near there, but look at it this way, say if mamena Emma pine Emma utimi ekoje won krata ubenya wawudi na wawetimi dia ejuma and wawutimi di wudin ejuma na say okọ child supporter then child support for betimi order amomatisike fi our bank account. But say nipani nin krata na nipani does not have any legal means to work. What they call child supporter, then a child support for beka some farmer because oni sika and as oni ejuma even if a big grandpa or ye ejuma grandpa obetwe mono na ebia or the banchi bi na ye den ejuma. Do you understand? And I say what done and when you so obinya maybe you never know no the ejuma.
So for on that basis, that's what is happening.
Yeah, on that basis, what they call child supporter, and that is the fact. It is in your own interest as a woman. I will be such a question and say, Obeboa sabe man, no way nyan krata, no way nye juma, never ordinary call child support my jusika. So I say. Sometimes
now nyan krata now antin kebi mo.
Oh, then I can in this presentation say Oko child maintenance service for Honoma. They can make an order to look for where baby a bear manity. So I say, getting say krumu hano or one krata no krumu han dia, you will be able to find that person to get your child maintenance. Sorting as now say only chrome hana so chrome hana you so be how do you get a child maintenance? You can't get it. Until sometimes say pesikane dia bo modina me advice am de ma oba ne say bo be ma ni mu no nya nkrata na efeji usika feeling check.
Okay. Right. We so say we the different one can charge support one some driving the driving the ham and the we say there will be the drive na ya cheno na ne krata balance ya ba esan se onye onyusu ne krata no mfa nye driving license or da so eyusu obi details na or the drive ya cheno drink and drive ama ya born nsa no they found out say or the on one din na or the ma omo. And then they found out say he's got double identity. He's on bail. Na se si omo a charge no so be court. Said Monday which is 24th of January, right? Which is Monday
Okay.
Na opeso bisa se after ehu aka no ya chese ya charge for double identity. No sure said ne krata no e be affecting ne krata na wanya no. And going to the court, as a drink that dear punishment, and a man. On one, so I mess up. Into what are the chances?
You made us say, say, the issues we're raising are the courts and criminal matters. In terms of the type of charges and as the type of sentence the judge will give that individual no may honest advice the man say on making sure say or basically legal advice if he criminal solicitor okay, so that they will be able to represent him during the hearing on the 24th. What people need to understand is say immigration status now immigration status affable and I say a British passport. Sometimes when you get these criminal convictions, it can affect your application for indefinite and I say application for British passports. In this particular example, Ode Ebaye say Oko court na ye fine and I say Oko court near man suspended sentence. He might be okay, he may get away with it. But if Oko court nas your sentence for 12 months prison term, then it's going to affect the immigration status. Anything less than 12 months, any idea about affecting immigration status. So it is important to obviously legal help with the criminal aspect of the case so that the sentence does not become so severe, say, about affecting the immigration status, our UK has said. Then that is when we come in. Into the Enya Bema and Enya Ba, I will send this message, But more than now after listening to us, so unya emfa lawyer dada obeboa at the hearing na eba app na obepe lawyer obetimi aboa say dia sentence bia obenye bia na enheda nye sentence ebetimi abe affect immigration status.
Okay. We so say our Ghana na our school say or yeah, what do you call it? Retraining as a health practitioner. Na ne mame French, like ne mame na France na owo into our French passport. Na ze si our migrate aba UK ha. Be 7 years ni. Na ne wo mu ne se ne mame so na ehwe no oye bibia. Unfortunately one can age but also retraining. I'm currently retraining to become a health practitioner. Into you saying no, I will Ghana. Into a patch say na mame momu UK ha. Na obatukuta French passport to our best settle UK hanom. Na na mame na ye ni bibia or send the sika or ye ni bibia. Into a kwambe my mother provides for me. Or send mame na etua travel expenses aduane obedie ni bibia utility based or mame na etua esa sorte or mame fie Ghana.
Me that say say nipa no is trying to ask, say, possible, say, Obeba has say, dependent child of Nema. The answer is, or evidence is, say, or Nema Meneba, which is with a genuine birth certificate. Now, or evidence is, say, or dependent, Nema Meneso for the living. Once we are able to get enough evidence, we should be in a position to submit an application on such a person's behalf. Nipa na or send us a message, may advise and say, Mauma Mena or UK, and free after the program, because most of the information and as most of the documents I be here if will come from the mom. Manema Mena and frame. If it is possible, say your documents, I'm more than happy to help them to get him over here. I mean, who said in Crawford be brave one or two things regarding the topic that to Facebook.
Maybe I can.
All right.
Now, your father said near or Aquarano, Nipana or Cano. So, whoever will do more than 18 or was our chance, no?
Oh, yes, we did more than 18 years, and I say we did more than 21 years. Even though we're adults, Kakrano, we need to still establish that we're fully dependent. So, say, our evidence say then we will be able to assist them with an application. Normally, the problem we have is enough evidence that will be able to convince efficacy for say who dependent so even though we are adults. Obi or full-time education, it may be a little bit easier for you to prove say even though or adults, still no or full-time education, and for that reason, fully dependent on the mother. I must add, use this opportunity to say, for the past few weeks, we have seen say Home Office for a banner for our for banner. They are refusing a lot of applications. And numbers can be discussed here, but you believe here for next week. Next week, EUSS will take about 10 different refusals and for the past 1 month. And then we look at some of the issues at Home Office for a raising for the refusal, and we will discuss it into next week. Don't miss the program for anything, because we'll be going into the decisions now Home Office will have been making for these applications, and then see how best that people will avoid those mistakes and refusals.
Okay, we also say answer questions now. Facebook will be a trend argument by making kind of way. We also say, because you're time into my main for quickly. We say, my 2.5 years will expire in March. The 2.5 years is due for renewal in March, end of March. When is the best days to start application process?
Say, in Kratane, March.
End of the March. End of March this year.
End of March. We always say, make sure, what submitted with new application within the last 28 days.
Not more than that, and not less than.
Especially depending on the route I will work. Also, Obi will hold our 10-year routes, Obi will hold our 5-year routes. Okay. So over 10-year route, sometimes even doing it a little bit earlier may not affect you that much, because why your previous applications are adding more than 6 months. But ideal situation for you to be able to protect the integrity of your route to indefinite leave to remain. The advice is always put the application in within the last 28 days of the application, your current leave expiring. But I know interest within the last 28 days as an lawyer. Do you understand? Because your lawyer will need to advise you on the documents you need and everything, start preparing and sign within the 28 days. Because sometimes, you need to deal with it before the application is done. Until you don't wait last minute and send a lawyer.
Okay. All right. That's why are they papa in church no about visit time no super pepe. Now we them say about child maintenance as no say this is simple common sense on the part of the man to support his child. He shouldn't just be irresponsible and turn up to get what he needs. And the same person will say, many men without papers are still working. Those people are just irresponsible with flimsy excuses. African men must stop this bad behavior. Don't go impregnate women if you don't want to be responsible. We're taking the person to move for Papa. I'm Ajoblo.
You see, the thing about this situation is, me catch and for say, if the person is working illegally and yet one person or the year say they are in you cannot tax somebody who is earning illegal money. So to me, I say, and for that reason, into the nipa or Jessica and your pass or the Jessica and Coco so Quaco GB. You understand? Yeah. Even though Nipan see or ye Juma, even though Nipan ye Juma, you are aware from the other backgrounds in Nipan ye Juma. They say, and your pass in a Nipan air fa edia ye Juma. One, you cannot enforce any way beyond Nipan into Jessica Emma. That is the reason why I gave the advice to say, look, Oshana Nipan eye Juma ba on using din and also Ninkrato the be Juma na ope child maintenance efini hodia encouraging a buano no nyan nkrata no for no ani din ye Juma. Then if he still refuses to support you with the child, you can technically take the person to child support now with me abua akwalano, but any din dia you can't take him anywhere.
Na sabit lawyer say your father say if you order the kokora say ni din no mu hia ade mo ni bank account enti na nipa na ode na yi ni di adwuma ono ni details no fan kwa no yenti ni sika say nya possible ana technically it doesn't work. Nya possible.
And I make us say a very two things. It's something that the both parties need to sit down and make sure they work things out. Sometimes the other parent feel it say me punish you so when share akwala ni dia me make sure say unya share fine enye juma. Okay, then na make us say yes, it may be in your personal way, you might think that is the best way to approach it, but in the long term you may be shooting yourself in the foot because untimi enforce any claim to any child support, and that becomes a problem. You may it's in your own interest. Then if he still does not support that, you have a lot of legal options available to you in those scenarios.
All right, thank you very much, Lawyer Daniel Kwe. You are doing very well helping the Ghanaian community. Me am lawyer back so there be am catch them me ni ha na say muko bisa no na that yes am abakwa wo mre ni say dey now time no na any update bi wo sir from the home office.
One of the biggest issues are a war honum things to do with EUSS family permit applications. And because of how detailed we are looking at certain trend coming up for the past week or two. One more week to see the trend as it ends. And once that becomes the case, we will be in a better position next week to go into details. I haven't been able to go into details this week, but next week, we've seen a particular trend, not one, not two, but a lot of those decisions are coming up, and it's important. Say you be advice say and next week we'll be doing that. We'll also be talking about skilled workers, healthcare workers issues. There are a lot of things coming up, interesting things in the immigration front coming up. But and then on that way now, so I'm share with the
that's very very educative.
The women are happy. The men too are happy. Some way, somehow, but whatever the issue, so I want to be asking our person frame after the program. We are there Thursdays, and so you're Milton Keynes at 9:30 to 5:30. If you person be here with any of these issues, family law, immigration law, employment matters, civil litigation, just let us know. Give us a shout, and we'll be more than happy to assist you. One thing I'm positive for this is that we don't charge for consultation. I don't know about others whether they do charge or they don't charge, but I can confidently say.
How much charge you?
Well,
what are they super charity power?
Yeah, we don't charge for consultation into the war any question, be our issue, be our TV, be as when you refuse, just bring the refusal. We will sit down 1 hour, go over the issues and advise you. If we can help you, we will help you. If we cannot help you, we will advise you who can help you. Say the Anipa fresh so here we're criminal lawyer, we've told them say buano. Into the sana, that's how we work, and we are very happy for Mamutie and Amamu share so Yadamasi Papa.
Before Facebook a comment or see any news on amnesty. Amnesty Power UK.
Amnesty here. And we are not expecting any news anytime soon. But if any amnesty be about, trust me, we will be the first to discuss it. When you say, "Oh, will be a board, will be a video, be now a cover viral amnesty." Look, praying by it. Nothing is in the pipeline. If anything comes up, trust me, we will be in the best position to let you guys know.
UK pani amnesty, you been see that. Yo, okay, you better say, nah, yes, somewhere. Nyami aduma, mefro actually na yedunkomo. Into you that's it. Ne wejuma pa, oh yeah. Yo, etiafo, and I de jumadi no BCA. Yan fast da kase ma Daniel Koye, senior solicitor Emma Fortwell Solicitors. Samre de legal wajumadi no abawiye ewo GN Radio 6:11. Ni ene wotramu edi jumadi mu chiame ye darlinge. Mitramu ma Ellen baby, yo baby. Baby I will be ano. But say oh emfa, but I wish you speedy recovery. Na next week nyame adma wasa beju akwanya. Same time right here on GN Radio. Samre me de nyoma ajo tata. Kapem say Prem to beto na mejomu ene ubompa ya bobima the Blasters of Ghana. AFCON 2022 ewa Cameroon. Ya lusu baku ya draw baku akase yebe wone. Na yetumi advance to the next stage of the competition. Arinti ye here on payable. It's on football the ecclesiastes will be up a football. And tiana baby I will be as a word crowd or shimpire should be my the Blasters of Ghana 7 p.m. sharp Sky Sports at them. You're from a darling J. Me no SC. Nemom radio no was so. Me free Facebook and social of also co tuning and I say kwa mobile app and so let ye and your pa mobile phone so tablet so and also PC so via www.gnradiouk.com.